Good evening and welcome along to this week's Tuesday Club. Stephen, you have me on the wrong camera.
Yeah, I know.
You've opened me on the wrong camera.
Yeah, I know.
Stephen, you need to go into the producer, Stephen.
Right, isn't it?
Stephen, put me on the host, please.
No.
Put me on the host. Okay, there we go. Good evening and welcome along to the news, the 8:30 news, coming to you at 20 to 9. As we know, it is Irish time, so up your ladders. 4 minutes early this week. This is the Tuesday Club on a Tuesday, finally. The first people that you saw, you didn't really see them. I'm going to introduce them now in a minute. That's because we have a new producer in and he's getting fired after tonight, the fucking Mongo. Hello, Stephen. You want to wave to the camera?
Hello.
Thanks very much. Thanks very much. Yeah, Stephen, you don't need to talk when you're a producer unless I tell you to. This is the Tuesday Club, and the Tuesday Club, of course, is brought to you in association with RedsBet. RedsBet is a betting site tailor-made for Liverpool supporters. RedsBet aims to share half of the net profits with Liverpool supporters and fan causes. So no matter what, the fans end up a winner. Check out the odds on redsbet.com or download the RedsBet app. Share the glory and gamble responsibly. And I'm sure there'll be plenty of decent odds for the international World Games that are on over the next couple of weeks while there's no Liverpool matches on. Tonight we're going to be talking about some match that happened at the weekend. It was 0-0. No, nobody was interested in that whatsoever. And we'll also be discussing other things, and we'll be bringing a new friend to the show that isn't here at the moment, but it's a new friend, and it'll be soon will become your friend too, because it's something very, very special. But anyway, in tonight with me to discuss all the things that have happened at the weekend, I have, of course, starting at the bottom with the beard, Ragnar Clavin himself, Shane Davern, all the way from wherever the fuck you signed for in the holidays. And then beside him is James O'Regan. I didn't tell you to say hello, yeah. And of course, beside him then is the Paddy of the Lawsons. LL Paddy L. Ladies love Paddy Lawson. You can't beat that one. The man, the myth, the legend. It's great to see you, bro.
Good to see you.
Give us some skin. That's what I like to say. That's what
you alright?
Oh, really, yeah. Come in talking to the mic.
Hello.
Remember, you're on ESPN now, so you talk to the camera, you don't talk to me.
Okay.
I am your fan.
Okay.
Keeping it real for the fans out there. Shane,
Yes.
I'm going to start with you. Did you miss Paddy? Yeah?
Home the head.
Excellent stuff. Good.
Setting up our own company.
I know. Yeah.
The daily construction. Steve does not work, but he's the boss.
Well, that's what all
Cuts
bosses
the,
do, isn't it?
cuts
Yeah.
the checks.
Well, he's had years of not doing any work, so I'm pretending that he does
He
something.
actually
so
wouldn't work on a heart machine, in fairness. But we got him going. He still has all his fingers after building the studio, which I'm surprised that, even though we had lads looking for smooth screws and lads using drills with no batteries in them, that was the crack that day.
Best drill ever.
Best drill ever.
Ever.
I think Andy owes me £1 million at this stage, doesn't he?
I don't know. Shane!
Yes.
Anyway, it's good to have you back in. You haven't been in for a
Cheers.
couple of weeks. You're looking
Good
well.
to be here.
Yeah, look well. Come on.
here.
Is that a Liverpool based top?
I think it's Love, Follow, Conquer.
Is it, yeah?
Yeah.
They don't sponsor us. Don't ever mention them again.
Okay.
Till they do.
But if they like the sponsors,
Yeah, absolutely. Get in touch with Steve-O. Steve-O, let them know who to get in touch with. There's the hand there.
always opportunities to be had.
Exactly, you have to do it. James, it is, of course, the World Games week.
Yes,
It is.
Yes.
Are you looking forward to the World Games?
Oh, I can't wait.
Well, I've heard there's plenty of funny games going on this week.
Absolutely.
There is. And there's actually meant to be an outrageous level of Twitter outrage at some stage during this whole week. So get ready for that. Plenty of fume, and they'll be offended about everything. Anyway, so lads, the match: Manchester City, Liverpool, 0-0. The bus wasn't set on fire. Shane, take it away. What was your memories
Well, Andy
of the
wasn't
game?
there to set the bus on fire.
That does make a big difference. I will ask you about the bus, because City did spend an awful lot of time talking about the bus, and then it looked like they just turned up and parked that bus in front of their goal.
Yeah, it was their lowest, I read today, or the other day, it was their lowest percentage they've had since Guardiola went there in any game. It was a strange kind of game. It was both teams kind of kept it at the back a bit, cancelled each other out, and then looked for kind of. I thought both teams were a little bit more direct. Us more than City. City were kind of happy enough to leave us with the ball, not let us play through midfield, slow the game down, and all we really had, I thought, was just trying to clips down the channel to try and get either Mane or Salah in and try and work off breaks for them. But City did cause us a lot of problems. I thought Silva was very, very good, off the ball as well as on it. And just cancel each other out. And I think Gary Neville said it after about 75 minutes. If you offered both of these teams a draw, they'll just shake hands and go home. It was that kind of feel of it.
James, would you have been happy with a draw to start?
At the start, no. At the start, but on the back of the Napoli game, I thought I really wanted to see a performance and hopefully a win. But you could see it was two teams. It was definitely a case of it was two teams who were battling for the title, and everything was very cautious, and no one was willing to kind of really go forward and attack the game in the way you'd expect them to. So no, it was kind of what was expected. Once it kicked off, you could see the tempo had been set in the first 5-10 minutes. That no one was really like trying overly hard, and it was overly cautious. But I thought overall we played well. So front three is still a little bit of a concern. I'd like to see them doing more. I think Firmino was probably his worst game in a while. But overall, point was about a fair result given the way both teams went at it. So,
Paddy, I don't want to get into the micro details of the match. Look, it's been covered by the Fatback Four, it's been covered by plenty of people at this stage, right? I want to sort of talk more about the general themes that have come out of the game. So, there's been plenty of talk around the front three, all that type of stuff, right? But does Firmino have a little bit of a World Cup hangover going on at the moment?
Could do. He looks a little bit leggy, but so do the other two boys. But not Mane, more so Salah. I think Salah is still, he's not 100%. Doesn't look to me like he is. And to be honest with you, it's just one of them games where it didn't fall for us. It didn't fall for either side, I don't think. I know Man City got the penalty and stuff like that, and that was probably the highlight of their game. They didn't get in behind us that much. Virgin makes a mistake for the penalty, but again, like, City came to try and break us down, and it didn't work. And then after, as Davor said, after 70 minutes, they would have took the draw. I think we're happy. I'd be happy with it. I was happy with the draw after the game.
There's been a lot of talk around that, Shane, in terms of, if you think back to the last international break, we were actually going into it, we were fairly upbeat in terms of our form. But this front three thing and not really gelling as a front unit. One question I have for you, right? On that, nobody's really talking about how shit Mane's been since the last international break. Like, he hasn't given much. Like, I know
he's kind of got a bit of credit in the bank because he started the season so well. So the fact that he has tailed off a bit, people are a bit slow to jump on him. But just on the front three, I think we're different now. I think with the sign of the goalkeeper, the sign of Van Dijk, we're a different team. We're a different team. It's like, even in the games we won against the lesser teams, look at Brighton, we started really well for 15 minutes. We got that goal, and then we kind of just sat off a bit and just relied on the fact that, look, we're good enough to keep these out rather than we don't need to be going to get 2, 3 and 4 until we're comfortable. Like, as in was last year against Rome, we get 5, we ship 2 late. So we're a different kind of team this year, particularly, like, we had Van Dijk for the 6 months, but with the goalkeeper coming in, there's definitely a lot of confidence there in the fact that we can a goal is good enough to win a game. So that's what I think. The pressure is kind of off the front three. I think really so far this season.
I don't think we've quite got the balance right. We've gone from being overly attacking to overly defensive, I think, so far this season, and because Klopp has obviously want us to be more compact and.
Well, is it not frightening for us to think that we're at the top of the table and the front three boys aren't firing? They haven't started.
No.
The Keita's come in, Fabinho's come in, and they haven't done much. So is it not a good thing that we're still up the top end of the table and we're not firing on all cylinders? Do you know what I mean?
It is very. But I just on that point, I think it might be a season where the front three don't click to what people think that they will. People like go through a season where you might only end up with a season where the three of them get 15 goals, 20 goals to three of them.
Not say that, like, teams learn how to play against us. So teams this season compared to last season have kind of copped on, like, well, this is how you stop the three boys operating as such. Like,
the Southampton game was, we got a couple of goals, or we're training up, and Mark Hughes said it himself, look, it's damage limitation then. You don't want to be coming out here 6 and 7. But the last two games, the Napoli game and the City game, they've kind of looked to shut us down.
Yeah,
and that can happen. And at times, particularly against Napoli, we were very, very poor. We didn't create anything. And at times, that can, like, one will be enough in them games. Now, we haven't done it in the last two with Napoli and thing, but at times one will be enough in them games because we're so solid.
I want to ask you, right, because there's this feeling that, you know, and I want to take it away from the specifics and talk more about the generals in that, and not the generals as in the Mickey Mouse lads, and the generals as in the general pieces. But like, the discussion is really around the midfield. The discussion is a lot around what's gone wrong in the whole. But lads, I want to talk about fatigue, and I want to talk about real fatigue. And you know, Neville and the lot are going on about tiredness. I'm talking about playing the series of teams that we've just had. Every single game has been a big game. I know people say, well, you know, come the end of the season, but you're on a run in at that stage. You've got the end of the season, you've got something in front of you, and you have a goal that you're close to achieving, right? In September, your season has only kicked off, and your run of games suddenly becomes Spurs, Southampton, PSG, Chelsea, Napoli, City, right? No other team in England has had a run of games that difficult to navigate their way through. And outside of Chelsea, we've come away with one loss in all those games. We're joint top of the league as it stands. Like, you know, there's no fires really here to be putting out. There is the disappointment that we got some great results against these teams last year and we won games, but that was in between a series of other matches where we were scoring goals and the confidence was flowing and we were used to scoring goals. To me, this looks like a team that's had to be controlled and more or less monitored. Yeah. Over that space of games. The one potential thing that's here is, could there be more changes and maybe a little bit more aggression shown from Klopp through the midfield selections and being a little bit more dynamic and maybe going for it a bit more. But is this a case that we haven't seen a league this close with so many teams for a long time? Because when you look at the top five, there's 2 points separating first from fifth. And that's off the back of Spurs looking like they have a shit start to the season. Arsenal sort of trying to find their feet, yet they're only 2 points out at the top.
That's what I'm saying. We haven't had a magnificent start. Like, the front three boys aren't flying. The midfield isn't, but people are giving out saying about Henderson, and I'm sure we'll talk about that later, but people are saying that we're not flying in the midfield, we're not flying up front, but yeah, we're solid at the back. Like, and like, I think it's Maldini said it years ago. He says you win a league with a good defence. Do you know what I mean? So we've stopped leaking the goals as such, and it's dried up the top. So we have to find not a balance of fucking conceding goals and scoring goals, but we have to bear with it. Like, it still is, the team still is a work in progress. Fabinho's to come in, Keita's come in. Keita looked unbelievable his first couple of games. We were at the West Ham game. He was quality. The Crystal Palace game was top notch again. So maybe it's just he came in, little burst. Now Klopp is probably saying, right, okay, he needs a rest now, because it is, as all the players that do come to the league and do say that it is the most physical and fast league in the world. So maybe it does catch up on foreign players that are only coming in. You know?
James, you have a good take on the way it is. For you, what is the biggest takeaway from that series of games?
That we're in a title race. We've gone, you know, toe to toe with all of the teams, and you know, we can see we're joint top. So you know, and I think we've also learned from last season, and we're not. I don't think we're as mentally naive as we were last season. We're a tougher team this season, and we've shown it. Like last season, we probably wouldn't have scored that goal against Chelsea to get the draw at Stamford Bridge. You know, so I think just as we've progressed under Klopp and we've become a team that, you know, we've learned more, and you can see that now, and there's a mentality in the team that they're at the moment, and they're extremely hard to get at, and you know we're not to be taken lightly, and it will take something really special to break us down, as City found. Like, you know, we came head to head against City, and it was two teams that just, as the lads were saying, like they cancelled each other out. So it's look, to come out of that bank of games with the joint top in the league, I'm delighted. You know, you couldn't ask for much more than that.
The best thing from the run of games at the start of the season is nobody wants to come to Anfield. And that's the main thing. So City probably won't be happier if we had went to the Etihad and played them at this early stage in the season, but they had to come to us. And if you had said to Guardiola before the start of the season, look, before the second international break, you're going to be up the top of the table and you have to go to Anfield, you probably would have rather play at home that first game, because now I know we have to go there, but we have the job done at home. We didn't lose, and we're the more attacking side away from home.
Put it to you, Paddy, if I told you at the start of the season that we would play Chelsea, we would play City and we play Spurs and we get 5 points out of them and remain unbeaten, right? And I said to you that we draw with Spurs, and we draw with Chelsea and we beat City at home. Wouldn't we have lapped that up?
Yeah, all day.
Given the run of fixtures.
Yeah, 100%. And we actually have the run we have after the international break isn't that bad. Do you know what I mean? So we've had to endure the tough games, but we're up there. Do you know what I mean? We're up the top of the table.
And maybe like that next bank of games, Klopp will be able to experiment a bit more, bring in the likes of Keita and Fabinho, and maybe even put Shaqiri into the front three.
Okay. I want to ask about Keita. It comes on from Milner. We talked about him again after the Napoli game when we were live directly after the Napoli match. For me, anyway, he's been very underwhelming this season, and that's based off what I've seen him do in the Bundesliga, what I've seen him do in pre-season. And again, he wasn't really that effective in this game either. I've seen the rotten oranges that have been thrown at Henderson for his performance at the weekend, which I'm a bit lost at. I didn't think it was particularly brilliant. I didn't think it was particularly bad. I think it was just an average performance from a midfielder that you'd expect in a tough Premiership game. But Keita at the moment looks like a lost sheep. Shane?
Yeah, look, Paddy alluded to it there earlier. We were at the West Ham game. He was excellent. The Crystal Palace game, he did play well. I know his turn and his ball to Salah really was the highlight really of that, but he did play well that day. Yeah, for our midfield, you alluded to it there, midfield has been a little bit like an average midfield performance from maybe an average midfield in a tough game. Keita is the one we brought in, same kind of job that Oxlade-Chamberlain was doing for us, to burst from midfield, to break the lines. Henderson and Wijnaldum will play deeper and try and knit the thing together, but when he gets it, we need him to be direct. He was doing that for the first couple of games, and then for whatever reason it hasn't been happening for him. But look, loads of people have said before, now Jamie has said on here before, like, you can't get over how much it is to move to a club as big as Liverpool, especially for a foreign player coming to a different country. And look, it just could be just a delayed reaction from him to kind of the whole thing being that big. I don't have any concerns from seeing what he is able to produce. It's just have to try and nurse him through this period.
What was the difference between Keita and Fabinho? What did Klopp see that he said, right, Fabinho's not ready, but Keita is?
Well, that's because Fabinho's shite, like.
You say so? No, but seriously, like, Klopp has obviously seen something in Keita and seen something in Fabinho where he said, right, this lad's not ready, this lad is. And now it's probably changing now that Keita's not ready and Fabinho's ready. And that's the difference that we're going to have to try and see how it plays out in the next few weeks, especially with Milner out now for... We don't know how long. Is it a month? Is it?
A month.
All right.
I think like a key difference is probably that he was playing for Leipzig and he was playing in the Champions League, and he was the force of nature in that Leipzig team. He was the player that as soon as
he was
he's
the
left,
big fish in that
Leipzig
side.
have struggled this year without him. He was the driving force, and when he decided he was leaving and he was kept there for last season, their season fell apart because he seems a bit of a flowery player.
Could be, yeah.
To me, he can be a bit petulant at times. He looked in the Bundesliga last year. He got sent off.
He hasn't shown that though, at least yet for us.
Yeah.
No, but at the same time, it's the mentality.
Yeah.
It's the mentality thing.
Same thing with Wijnaldum. Doesn't play well away from home.
Until he scored that
best
goal.
player, you know.
Until he scores.
Remember that?
He's unbelievable. He's been our best midfielder.
Yeah,
for me, anyway.
No,
he's been quality.
Yeah.
He's been
excellent.
Unbelievable, yeah.
I think anyway, lads, one of the things that's come out for me, and there's been a lot of talk. Oxlade-Chamberlain now is the latest player to get a lot better because of his injury. I'm not playing because of this happens a lot. For a while, Lallana last year, while he was out injured, was a much better player than what he'd ever produced on the pitch. And Oxlade-Chamberlain now, he is the key to this system. Where I can tell you, if I go back,
it's very dangerous to be hanging your hopes on him. But what way is he going to come back after?
But not just that, Shane. This is my point, that Oxlade-Chamberlain had some very average games for Liverpool last season, and he had some great moments. Yeah. And what it looked like was that a bit like a Dirk Kuyt, that he was coming up with big moments in big matches. Yeah. Again, the City goals and those type of things, right? But there's a lot of games where he didn't do much. And yes, the loss of him is a good squad member and a good option to have there. But I think at times I prefer to see Klopp be a little bit bolder, play Shaqiri in that exact role. The role which is he's got...
Like he did it against Southampton.
Yeah. And like that was the last time that we put on a real attacking display in that first half, and we blitzed them. Since then, there's been a little bit more cagey and a little bit more respectful to the opposition. That's my own opinion in terms of what it is.
He hooked Shaqiri at half time. He said it was a tactical move as well when he brought Milner on for Shaqiri. So
I think, like I said earlier, Phil, I think he's very, very, very confident in his back four and his goalkeeper.
Yeah.
And he realises now that one goal most weeks will be enough to get the 3 points.
Yeah.
And that's why I was critical of him after the Napoli game, because I thought that their three at the back causes real problems. And I was like, will you change something? Just change something, try it. But he obviously thought that, look, we'll sit in here. If we get a chance, hopefully we can take it, but we'll sit in because I don't think we can see it. Now, ultimately, obviously, that didn't happen. We fucked up, conceded one, threw it away in the last minute. But I think he's ultra confident in his keeper and his back four, and that's why there has been a few flickers, as Phil said. There was the Southampton half. Leicester, at times, we looked like we should have ripped them apart. Spurs away as well. So there's been a few little previews and moments of what we can do. We haven't done it yet, and we haven't had to do it because the back four and the keeper look so solid.
Yeah.
And there could be times when they go through a bad run of form, and we do ship a couple of goals when the boys will have to bail them out. But at the minute,
looking well.
As I said,
three goals conceded so far in the league. That was 12 last season.
We restricted, I think, City to 2 shots on target. Which there was a bit of fluff on the desk. I just wanted to take
Roger spinning the wheel.
I was getting a You're like a bleeding child at Christmas. I got back to play with the new toy. Did Santa come? Anyway,
playing the PlayStation at 2 in the morning.
No, I want to ask. We restricted City to 2 real chances. Right, the talk before that game was all about Lovren's reintroduction into the team, and he ends up having a very good game for us. But the main talk after the match,
the penalty that should have been given.
What's wrong with kicking a fella up the arse?
Listen, it's not Dejan Lovren without doing something like that. You have to come to realise that he's gonna do something like that. That's it.
No contact there. No penalty.
Hang on. What's wrong with a centre back kicking a fella up the arse? That's what I was talking about. Why did you just give him a kick up the arse?
68,000 people looking at you screaming at you.
Moaning about but the main talking point was the alleged brilliance of John Achterberg for telling somebody to dive the way and then Mahrez kicking the ball over the bar.
I thought he was waving at his missus in the crowd. That's what I thought.
Who knows? Like, we have no idea what he was saying. There's an assumption that because he turned his back and put his right arm up...
Would you not give him credit for the fact that he called that correct?
Goalkeepers union here.
Called what correct?
Called where he was going to put
that Mahrez was going to kick the ball over the bar?
No, the side that he put it over, like, he was going for that top corner. Now, keeper probably not getting. If he puts it in the post, Sam keeper's not getting it.
If he puts that inside the frame of the goal, the way he hits the ball, nobody's saving it.
Well,
you'd have to be hanging out with a net to save it.
Yeah, I have one fella standing.
You'd literally, you want to be standing there, just holding onto the post, swinging out.
And in fairness, it's like has been a consistent theme all the time. Ryan was on the decline, then we signed like that. Achterberg was the fault of all this. Now Ryan is he obviously when Javi Valero left, there was a fall off, etc. But Miles was shit.
Yeah.
So, like, there's not a whole lot he could do.
Well, he got worse.
Well, look.
You can see his shot stopping ability got worse since he signed to when he stopped.
I'd just be inclined to give Achterberg a bit of credit that he called it right.
Fair play.
That's all.
Yep.
Now, how he called it right, I don't know, because when Mahrez's thing came up with where he puts his penalty, he's never fucking put a penalty that side in his life.
My thing was that he could have... We don't know what that signal is. The overplay of that signal is absolutely hilarious.
Look,
it's like
Sky overplayed.
That could have been a signal to tell him to dive the opposite way. For all we know,
yeah. Look, Sky overplayed.
The player's right, okay. And just think about this, right? Flip it the other way. If he's telling Alisson that he's going to the player's right, then Alisson went the wrong way. It just happened to work out right.
And Sky wouldn't have shown it. So they're playing it. They look, what can we get? Can we pick something up here to make a talking point now or nothing? Because they talk shit.
But I will say the one thing that Achterberg has gotten credit out of nearly all the goalkeepers that was there, right, was that they said he's very good with his penalty analysis and his penalty shootout analysis, and like that's the minimum expect from a professional goalkeeping coach who's paid to analyse that type of stuff, right? The criticisms I think that's been levelled at him is that goalkeepers haven't improved as a goalkeeper since he's been.
Well, Klopp has come out and given him credit quite recently. He's probably one of the hardest working members of the staff, and Klopp gets in, he's there, he's looking at goalkeepers all over the world, etc. So he's obviously doing something right in his eyes.
When you're talking to your boss, and there's a fella that you don't know what's he doing there, and he's a really hard worker.
He's like Steve on
That's
the
like
shed
the
here. Steve used to walk around with a hammer, but
Yeah.
he was never doing it. But he had a hammer in his hand all the time. And then someone stopped him. I'm just on my way down to just there. Yeah, and then he just tail off, and you go, all right, Steve. Okay.
For me, hard work. Hard work is the minimum requirement that I'd expect from anyone on that coaching staff.
True, yeah,
Right.
I would agree.
Anyway, I think everyone just needs to chill the fuck out when it comes to the magic thing. At the end of the day, Mahrez hit a penalty that was worse than Joe Cole's shot against Stoke in 2011. Was it cleared the cop as well? Do you remember that, Steve? You nearly got thrown out of Anfield over that one. You literally nearly got.
In Turkey.
If those rules about abuse had been brought in at that stage, you are out of the cop. Gone.
He was gone. Were you mad?
All the stuff you weren't allowed to say in one volley of abuse.
And a few sherries on board?
Just two.
But no, literally, all the words you're not allowed to say, Steve-O said them all. And that one thing, and then just said, I'm off. I never scored here, and that was only about 50 minutes gone in the game. He was right, though, we didn't have to score. Right, lads, moving along. I want to ask the big news today and the big talk that's been done today has been the Ballon d'Or nominations. I think it was last night. I think everyone was nominated in the world. I think the most important thing was that
nominations.
you got a nomination, Paddy.
Yeah.
I don't think Ronaldo got a nomination, despite Juve definitely going for a nomination for him there. They're great champion. But the lads that are up, Alisson is on there, Mane's on there, Salah's on there, Milner's on there,
Rightly so.
and Trent is on it for the Copperberg Award, is it?
Copperberg.
The Copperberg.
Fucking bottles at
Yeah.
the City bus.
Andy up for that as well, yeah.
He's shooing.
Andy nominated him.
Yeah. So anyway, lads, from what we've been told, the LFC fans are doctoring the award already. The Egyptian and LFC fans. Now the
Has
lads,
it changed with an internet vote, or
I think they're doing a bit like the Eurovision. So you get the judges vote, and then you have the popular vote.
The judges vote.
Right. So the judges vote.
But did it not used to be every captain and manager of the national team voted for, and that's how it was done.
went.
Then they realised that if that was the
They
case,
gave Roy Hodgson a vote one year and said, "This is a load
and
of bollocks.
this is rubbish.
This is ridiculous."
He's gone
This
for
is
fucking
fucking
Carlton
ridiculous.
Cole again.
Mark and Chesky.
Who's Carlton Cole? Who's Carlton Cole?
He's Joe Cole's brother.
Yeah. Well, he voted for him last year after that shot against Stoke.
Yeah.
But this is the question, right? Salah, rightfully, I know the fans are going mad and they're all putting in the popular vote and the whole lot, right? But rightfully, I know he didn't win anything last year, but for the form, for the amount of goals he scored, he deserves to be in the running. Anyone?
His XG
Count
said
it
he was in the running as well.
Is it for last season, Phil, or is it for the calendar year?
It's for last season.
It's for last season. Well,
He deserved to be in there.
then he's in with a great show. I think you'd probably have to go with Modric, I'd say,
For what he did with Real and
what he
getting
did
to
with
the final.
Real
Yeah,
and getting to the World
Croatia.
Cup final and the World Cup he had.
Well, isn't
I
that
think
who
you'd
won
probably
the Football
he
France
won
Award or whatever it was?
the FIFA Friends Award
Yeah.
or something like that. I think you'd probably have to go with Modric, and then probably into a toss up there, probably between. I didn't realise Ronaldo wasn't put on it, obviously for footballing reasons. He was shit. No, but I'd probably say Salah's in with a shout to be in the top three anyway, isn't he?
And I'm surprised that Firmino been in there,
No.
getting the nomination.
Nope.
No?
No. Firmino was actually critical to how we play, in my opinion.
I don't disagree with you.
I think he's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Is what he does with centre halves, occupies centre halves, lets the two boys get into space. I think we've actually missed him, and probably that's the reason why the front three aren't playing so well, because as you said, seems like he has a little bit of a World Cup hangover, or a Ibiza hangover from the rumours we've heard.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
And James, did you see any funny names on that thing? Alisson was in there.
Yeah,
He's not winning it.
Is there a team of the year picked type thing? No.
Well, I know with the Salah one, he finished third, but didn't make the team of the year. The Champions League. He went for team of the year. I don't know how that works.
Name
No,
fell out of hat.
I don't know how it works. It's like literally,
It's a hole at the end.
you're one of the top three players in it, so we're playing three up top. Yeah, you're not playing up. Keeping you on the bench. Yeah. Well, that's a question was asked. When has the time come for us to bench Salah?
No.
I actually thought he played better than he has in a couple of games in that match against City. I know Steve was at the game. I'd love to have Steve on tonight, but there's no microphone on. Ray Dickinson says, Harry Kane, lads, golden boot winner.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Fuck off, Ray.
Exactly.
Harry Kane.
No.
He's in there.
Oh, is there anyone who's not in there?
Yep.
Luka Modric is in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mignolet
I think
didn't get a nomination.
Oh,
Did he not?
okay.
No, Karius did, but Mignolet didn't.
Karius did.
I don't see Karius there playing for Besiktas during the week.
Oh,
Dude,
dear.
yeah, it was.
That wasn't good.
Just waving that ball into the side net. Not good.
Yeah.
I think he's ruined.
Yeah.
I think you're probably right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like
I know he wanted it to go well from him, and I was like, he's. I think he's a
over
better
there.
goalkeeper
Oh,
than Mignolet.
fucking kill him.
Mignolet is fucking dirt.
yeah.
But
Besiktas.
I think he's proud.
Mess around over in that
I
country.
think he's broken. No, he'd be lucky to come home alive.
At least he's good looking. You have a career in modelling.
Yeah, a bit like who was your woman that used to play the tennis?
Kornikova.
Anna Kournikova, yeah. Just packed it in. Can't win anything, so just pack it in and do the modelling instead. And
She not go out with Enrique Iglesias.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pelvis smashing. Game over. That's it.
He's actually playing soon in the Tree Arena.
Is he?
There's posters up around town.
Can't wait to go and see
I'm
him.
going to see that. You can run, but you can't hide. You can't escape my love. Here's where it goes.
Many a woman in Dublin.
I was just doing my milk round. Mbappe. Lad said Mbappe in with a show for Ballon d'Or. Don't care. Not doesn't play for Liverpool.
No.
Literally doesn't play.
Don't think so.
Right, so I'm going to do one of these. So this is our new friend of the pod. For anyone that's watching.
What the?
We'll have to get a fancy theme tune that I can overlay the. Anyway, so this is the random topic generator. You see, it's not fixed. Not fixed at all. What one is that? All right, hold on a second. Anyway, so from now on, we will be doing the random topic generator for people. And if people want to give us in their topics during the week, we can add them in there and we'll ask away. So, what's that one there? Next night out. Right, we're not asking that one. Right.
Call Tony's at the crash in his taxi.
I've two questions. One, lads. Sean Cox. All joking aside, right? There's a GoFundMe going on for him at the moment. The links are being tweeted on the account, and it's across other accounts as well. The chap is definitely he's suffered from what happened to him, and I know that the family are looking to put funds together. There's a long way to go in his rehabilitation. There is, I think, potential treatment in Germany that could make a difference to him, but it's expensive as well. So what I want to say is that we will be supporting that as best we can. We'll plug in the links. We're also trying to do something, and we'll have more details about that soon. And I hopefully have something a lot sooner to deal with it. And all proceeds that we have with it will be going towards the Sean Cox thing as well. So, you know, I don't want to get into as a topic, to be totally honest with you. There's a lot of opinions around it. There's, you know, duties of care and stuff like that we could discuss. And we probably will discuss at a later point in it as part of what we're planning to do. But for the moment, I don't want to do too much. So, and I don't want to go too down on it. So before we turn off Periscope and we continue to record the podcast, hopefully that Stephen has been recording all this time.
Gonna start mashing buttons over there.
Let's do a topic. How we do? Stephen, give us a song there.
You're after pulling that too hard, as usual. Be here for 20 minutes.
Lottery. That means go again.
Next week we'll have topics that actually make sense.
What's that one there?
Match day superstition.
Match day superstitions. Shane, you've only recently packed in playing football. What was your match day superstition?
Jeez, what was match day superstition? I'm trying to think now.
Take your time, Shane. It's not live.
Yeah, it's not live. Yeah.
Did you have any?
No, not really. No, didn't really have any.
That was a
Just basically just
absolutely
hoping
brutal
not to be
answer.
picking the
James,
fucking
you've
ball
never
out
kicked
of
the
the
ball in
net
your life.
after
Do you have any
full
match day superstitions for?
I stopped playing when I was 16. So no.
But have you got any match day superstitions for watching the game?
No.
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 I've
Come on.
I've played my own games on a Saturday for Walkerstown United. Yeah, right there, Steve. Yeah. Is he okay over there?
You're a fucking wanker.
I've two for playing for Walkerstown United on a Saturday.
Yeah.
I have a little routine of when I go in the dressing room. I just put on my boots and go out and play. That's one.
That's one.
That's it. And the other one for watching Liverpool games, I don't watch them with any of my brothers.
No?
No, can't.
I used to have a load of superstitions.
Oh, man, it's torture.
I mean, epic stuff. It started from 2 days before the game.
Like what?
Oh, I'd have to, right, when I got home, I'd have to knock the boots off, just specifically off the heel parts first, right, and leave them to the next night. And then I cleaned the boots. And then in the morning of the game, I had to have a specific breakfast. Then I took certain drugs. I had to have a Dior light and then also some epinephrine for the nasal sinuses and the whole lot. Then I'd hoover the gaff, right, and then I'd have to put in my gear a certain way into the bag.
His match day started at 5 o'clock in the morning.
At 5 o'clock on a Thursday.
Then I had to listen to a certain album. Now, the album would depend on your last mare, right?
Don't
So,
say
like,
it's in you, because
No,
you'll
no,
be
no.
bollocks.
It changed, right? Season to season, the whole long. Like I didn't stick with the one album for the whole time because I'd be still listening to Fleetwood Mac. But yeah, and I never stopped. Went right way up, and I had to do a certain warm up in a certain way, in a certain manner. And if that was ruined, my head would be fucked going out.
I would have done the
pitch.
same warm up, alright.
Yeah.
And then I'd probably put me right boot on first and me right glove on first. That'd be probably about the gist of it.
Yeah, same here. Nothing mad.
Nothing like your fucking insanity anyway.
Hoover in the gaff,
Who
man.
from the gaff Thursday
Fucking
night.
mad.
He only hoovered the gaff so the missus let him out.
Yeah, so that's it. So yeah, just
That's
about
it.
a couple of dozen match day superstitions.
I've seen some. I've seen a lad that I actually play football with has a superstition of. I'm not going to say his name. It's an old football team he used to play with. He would walk into the dressing room backwards and walk out backwards. It was funny as fuck. But we were playing away one day and he walked out backwards and the ref turned around the manager and says, "Is he actually all right?" Yeah, no, he's just a bit mad. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Right.
Oh god.
I'm tying that note to slow that down.
Christy Brown versus Mahrez. Right, who's the better penalty taker? Paddy.
Christy, thank you.
Who do you reckon is a better penalty taker, Christy Brown or Riyad Mahrez? If you had to put a Champions League final win on it, would you rather Christy Brown take a penalty or Riyad
Christie
Mahrez?
is 1 out of 1, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
Mahrez is what, 3 from 7?
Yeah. Mahrez's
Christie
ball
all
landed on
day.
South Circular Road there earlier on. Us hit a bus.
Well, obviously, yeah, you're going Christie all day. Like.
Oh, Christy, yeah. Go for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Christy wins. Clean house. Get Christy in. Right, we do one more.
One more. Don't fall down this time.
You're here for a week. Look how they're doing it.
Use your ball back.
Yeah, so.
Force. What? Force game. What? You
Right,
know-
Kane.
What does that actually say?
I don't know. I can't read it. It's
I'm
upside
reading
down.
hieroglyphics for fuck's sake.
Force gig. You went there or something?
Force gig at Anfield. Yeah, we'll go back to that. Who do you want to see playing the Force gig at Anfield? James.
Well, I said it already. I said Oasis.
Weirdo.
Yeah.
Why would you want Oasis at Anfield?
Everything's been shite since Roy Orbison died.
For the
anyway,
start, they don't even exist anymore.
Well, you give them enough money, they play.
Westlife, they get back together. Westlife, that'd be
Westlife,
sound,
they
yeah.
do
Well, the
anything.
first
wouldn't
gig is actually already decided. It's fucking Take That at Anfield.
I know. That's what. Why else was going
Is
to
it really?
Yeah.
Oh, good jeez.
Bring the
Why
missus.
wouldn't it be?
Absolutely good. You didn't get tickets, though, weren't
Oh,
you?
fuck, when were they going, sir?
I got tickets in the cop behind the stage.
Oh yeah, how it's Take That. It's only 3 of them. Imagine, like, may as well just have Paul McCartney turn up and call it the Beatles, like. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's two
Well,
like
he
that.
could do that, and the rest of them, there's only him and Ringo left, isn't
Yeah,
there?
well, have him and Ringo turn up and say it's the Beatles, the first gig at Anfield, and get Paul McCartney to play it. The Beatles. Job done. Yeah?
Sure, look, he's...
Oasis.
That's just
Oasis.
That was just my opinion.
You fucking asked him the question,
yeah,
Phil.
exactly. So fuck off.
Shit opinion. Don't do that again. Don't have that opinion again. Oasis. For fuck's sake. Sold out, suppose you Take That is.
A little.
Little.
Never forget.
I guarantee you John Henry flies in for that. I bet you Linda is mad for a bit of Take That.
Say she's
Bet you
mad
Linda, I bet you Linda would love Take That. That's why Take That I'd say are playing
Yeah.
Anfield. I say that was the first. Right, I don't mind having gigs here, but can you get Take That for me?
Right, is
Job done.
she American or Canadian, is ma?
I don't know.
She's American.
I don't
she?
like. I don't.
Fucking NSYNC and Backstreet Boys is fucking...
Backstreet back all right.
Backstreet's back is right.
Right then, we're going to do more random topics. So after this, anyway, look, that is that's the show. So the podcast will be out later on. It's a longer form as well, so there's about another half an hour to go on the podcast. And if you're listening to the podcast, this won't be in it because it'll be all cut out later on. But anyway, thanks again for watching tonight. It has been Shane Davern, it has been James O'Regan, it has been Paddy Lawson. This has been in association with RedsBet. We'll be back again next Tuesday as the fucking World Games of Poxy irrelevance continues on. And then the football matches start the following week. So good night, God bless, thanks for watching.